The best class setup for the KN57 is an ELO side, hybrid mags, rapid fire along with stock. I run ComSec device as well as flak jacket, gung ho, and dead silence. And I've gone ahead and experimented with several different class setups. The reflex side is a great alternative to the ELO. It just really depends on your preference. As far as hybrid mags, that is the way to go because of the faster reload time, and rapid fire is the game changer for the KN57 because it definitely decreases that time to kill. The only reason you're ever going to run the KN without rapid fire is if you decide to jump in league play because rapid fire is banned as an attachment. And then lastly, I go with stock because I like that extra strafing speed. Quick draw is another great option if you go with the 4 attachment setup. Maybe get rid of the ELO, whatever the case is. That's pretty much the best class setup for the KN if you're using 3 attachments and an optic. And then the rest, as far as ComSec device, I go with that just so I get my streaks faster because more often than not, I'm going to have to lead my team by calling in a ton of streaks. Flak jacket just saves you a ton of death, which you're going to see in this gameplay, by the way. And then I have gung ho for the faster sprint out time along with dead silence so I don't hear my own footsteps, but also so I'm not popping up on anyone's acoustic sensor. So I've gone ahead and covered the best class setup for the KN57. Hopefully you do enjoy the video. If you do at any point, please remember to hit that like button. And if you're brand new and you'd like to find your way back because you're looking to improve at Call of Duty, just go ahead and make sure you hit the red subscribe button, turning it to gray with notifications on by ringing that bell. So one quick thing to get out of the way is a lot of times people are saying that the Peacekeeper is pay to win. I personally still think that the KN57 is a better rifle, along with maybe the Maddox is kind of tied with the Peacekeeper, but overall this is a top tier rifle, probably top 3 in the entire game. So I actually have 2 higher KD gameplays for you. The first match is actually going to be a match in progress. I go 29-1. For the second gameplay, I go 48-3 in team deathmatch. So when it comes to Nuketown, the KN is probably one of the best weapons in general to use along with the ICR. I wish KN did have FMJ because then that would allow you to penetrate the walls a little bit easier, especially if you're going against someone using the Titan with double FMJ, Rampart double FMJ. Pretty much it makes everything paper thin and it's kind of hard for you to get back into cover. You can see how I'm kind of sitting in the middle. I know there's a couple teammates up in the window, but when it gets kind of this tricky point, I gotta push up because the spawns tend to flip. I go ahead and take that guy out the hip fire. I can see there's a guy upstairs. I'm going and chasing him down, and I'm seeing if I can go ahead and take him out. I take out the first one, and we do have that shroud on top of me, so they cannot see where I'm shooting them from. They pretty much just can hear the bullet somewhere in the area. So that smoke is kind of throwing stuff off. I come out through the window. I see somebody's downstairs, and then I go ahead and kind of just turn around and snap on them. Seems like I've been having the worst luck with Titan guys. For whatever reason, they're able to hit every single shot and wipe me out. And in that scenario, I kind of just lost that gunfight. You can see how I'm kind of playing. I'm not playing really conservative. It really depends on the weapon I use. And you can definitely see that comparison if you're comparing this gameplay from yesterday's video with the ICR. Typically with the ICR, it's a lot more immobile because it doesn't have stock. It doesn't really have the attachment that you would need to make it a little bit more of a run and gun type weapon. So you can see me kind of just picking up different weapons, going and taking people out, and make sure I can clear that guy up. And for whatever reason, I just decided to shoot that guy with the weapon. But you can see I'm kind of shooting the guy through the wall right there. A double FMJ would be amazing, and you'd be able to take that guy out, clean that guy up. The time to kill at close range with the KN is 4 shots to kill, and then it goes up to 5, and then eventually at very long ranges, I believe it's a 6 shot to kill. So you really want to make sure that most of your gunfights are in that 4 to 5 shot range, so you get very consistent times to kill. A lot of times right here, I'm just pre-aiming because I know my teammates are super aggressive, and based off the mini-map, it looked like the spawns were going to flip to begin with. Right there, if the guy would have just ran straight towards me, I would have been in a much better spot and been able to take him out, but unfortunately, he curved around that side. Go ahead and jump down. I see this guy, able to take him out, and then I go ahead and kind of make sure I got my streak called in. Once the streaks start rolling in, it makes it even easier. Obviously with the Thresher, with the strike team, things get a little bit out of hand. And luckily that guy got killed by my teammate that was chasing that little shot cart. And now I'm able to push back through the spawn. I know these are our spawns, and I'm not 100% sure they're going to stick because of how fast they tend to move. A lot of times when you get with randoms, they tend to kind of just flip the spawns 10 times a match. So inevitably you're going to end up with a spawn flip. So right now they're either going to end up spawning Jeep or directly in front of me. You can see my teammates are spawning right there, but I know that the teammates are still so deep in the enemy spawn, the flip is inevitable. So right there you can see the guy is coming through. He ends up pushing upstairs, and then I got to go ahead and kind of wait for him, wait for that UAV to pass. He gets killed, and then I have to turn around and end up winning this gunfight, which is my advantage at that point blank range. Then I go ahead and jump out, expecting the spawns to still be heavy over here. Then I go ahead and push in, got my strike team, go ahead and call that thing in, and then I go ahead and push through again, knowing that it's secured. So one thing to be wary of is if you're going to melee on a map, you got to be aware of how the spawns will flip because you have a big role in that. Right here you can see Flak Jacket saves my life, Thresher comes through, blows up the Jeep. I'm able to survive that. Like I said in that video, you can survive about 20 different things because of Flak Jacket, and it's just really about taking advantage of that when you're in a match. And I actually think the Flak Jacket perk is so useful that I run it on pretty much every single class. I do have a couple classes with Scavenger so I can switch it up in case I want to run a different specialist depending on the map. So you can see how quick that got out of hand. I end up going 29-1, and then we'll jump into the second match, which is another high KD. I get about 50 kills and only die a couple times and right at the last second, which you'll see kind of how that all pans out. But even if you join a match late, doesn't mean the end of the world. You could really take over that lobby, which you're seeing right here. We're going to go ahead and push out. And then there's actually a couple different rush points. Sometimes I'll go ahead and peek this right side, get a quick glance, go ahead and try and get a couple kills. And then other times I'll go ahead and peek the left side. It really depends on what my teammates are doing, because at the end of the day, you just want your different sides covered. And more often than not, most of your teammates will not push beyond the house. So I go ahead and back up really quick, go ahead and get a quick heal in. I can see the spawns were flipping, so I rotated backwards. There are a couple people in this area debating how I want to approach it. I go ahead and peek the corner real quick because that is still spawn area. You can see my teammate just spawned out, and now I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. This one, again, is that little bit slower start that I talked about. You play a little bit passive, and then you can start playing aggressive. You just need to get that first set of streaks, which usually happens around 7 or 8 kills, and then you can kind of cycle that through and get that non-stop pushing action because you're going to have a strike team to help, threshers to help, sniper nest to help, and it kind of continues that cycle. I know there's some people say, hey, you know what, I can't get those streaks. You can still start off with some lower streaks. You get a UAV, and that'll allow you to chain maybe up to a drone squad or whatever the case is, and you can kind of start chaining some of those bigger streaks together, start up lower and work your way up. Ideally, you want to stay engaged in gunfights, so you don't want to pick any type of score streak that's going to take you out of the action and potentially die. So an example of this is if you're controlling the Mantis, using an RCXD, using a dart, using a gunship. There's different streaks where you have to actually take yourself out of the action, whether it's the Hellstorm, Lightning Strike. You kind of got to be aware of your positioning when you call those types of streaks in, because things can happen very quickly, especially on the smaller maps. So right here, I'm only 125 off. I kind of just got to move myself around the map, predicting that spawns are going to flip because they tend to flip on Nuketown. You can see how far my teammates are pushing up, and then I decided to take a different angle. Maybe I go and get in this corner and see if I can get somebody coming out of spawn, maybe peek someone in the window. And you can see how I glance right there. You get that right hand advantage. You peek real quick, you don't show a ton of your body, and then you can go ahead and kind of get back to cover. If the person's looking down, a lot of times you can hit them a couple times, maybe get an assist, take them out, whatever the case is. You just want to make sure that you get that quick peek in before you run through that doorway. So that's just more of a habit thing, that it's just a good habit to have. So right now I have the sniper's nest. Enemies are spawning heavy near me, and I only need 75 score for that next kill. So all I'm doing is kind of just playing a little bit passive in their spawn, and now I'm going to be behind them because they all kind of ran out. I'm going to see if I can land a couple shots here on this guy. He ends up kind of in the middle. Someone starts shooting me. Then I go ahead and back off. You can see my teammates right here end up getting the Thresher because someone finished that guy off. And now the Thresher and the sniper's nest were almost going to guarantee me my strike team if I didn't get that kill. And then now you can see the streaks start to trickle in, and they all start coordinating and working together, while enemies are going to start focusing on my streaks. It just makes it a little bit easier time to kill. Right here I am kind of running through the middle of the map. I end up taking this guy out, and then now I'm still pretty good on this spot. Obviously the shroud is a little bit in the way, so I go ahead and kind of rotate where I can look into the spawn. Somebody ends up shooting me from a different angle that I wasn't even aware of. Guy's coming through, I end up taking him out. I don't even know where the guy was shooting me from, at least within the live action gameplay. I just did not know. So now I'm pre-aiming the spawn. There should be people coming out. You can see he kind of ran around the side. I'll go ahead and peek real quick, take him out, and then now I'm in a pretty good spot. I have the building. I know they're downstairs. They're a little bit distracted. Strike team's coming through. I can shoot that guy pretty easy, and would have got the kill if my teammate just didn't come running through. So right here you can see how that cycling of streaks works. And obviously the gameplay is a little bit passive at times, but that's just working smarter, not harder. Obviously I'm 75 off a sniper's nest. I do not want to die, so I want to kind of play off my teammates, get as many easy kills as possible. See right there, they do have the little bit of a spawn beacon, which is kind of one of the worst things you can do, especially on TDM if you don't know how to use it. You see right there, they were like fish in a barrel, literally spawning on top of each other while the strike team's going in, my teammates are going in. We're just dominating the feed, and we have a considerable lead. And that doesn't happen by accident. Obviously it was kind of close in the beginning. because more often than not, your teammates don't do really well. And then you see I get insta-melted by a specialist weapon. That is a 2-shot to kill, so pretty much I was going to be guaranteed dead as I came around that corner because he was just free-firing like a madman. So they do have the shroud up. I'm going to peek this right side, seeing if I can get any easy kills, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dip out to the left. That's typically the route I go, and I can see immediately that the spawns are already starting to flip. You can see this guy coming around right there. I peek it really quick, get that guy taken out, seeing if there's any more, and then I go ahead and decide how am I gonna go ahead and attack this. There's only a few kills left. I jump out, take that guy out, and I actually wasn't prepared for the second guy to be there, but I end up winning the match 48-3 in dominant fashion. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did in any way, please remember to hit that like button. See if we can get this video over like 750 likes. If we can, I really appreciate it. And remember to hit that red subscribe button with notifications on by ringing that bell. Do appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.